Alright guys, so I just got the G-Sowr Tier 9 British um, light tank, and I'm so far I'm not a big fan of this vehicle. I think it's okay. It's basically the exact same thing as the LHMTV, just a Tier 9. I actually find the LHMTV, in my opinion, to be a little more fun. I think it looks a little cooler, and I just think this thing is somewhat underpowered at Tier 9 because it's literally like the exact same tank, man. Just has like slightly better statistics on the gun. I guess like the DPM is a hair better, and it has a little bit more view range, but I thought that I was going to get a little more of an upgrade. This thing is, it's the same thing, right? It's the exact same tank. What I'm really looking forward to is the mana core. But anyway, guys, this is going to be the second game that I've played in the G-Sowr. The first game I played was like pretty average. I think I did like 1100 damage, which isn't bad, but we didn't get a lot of spotting. But then I ended up on steps for the second game, guys, and this game was spectacular. Everything just kept working the way it should have. At first, I was going to try and take this rock right here next to these two bushes, but once the T-49 came out here, man, I just didn't want to do this anymore. You have to be really careful about how you play steps, right? Steps, like all the light tanks always want to go out into the field. You can see where the bat chat is as well, but all of these areas in the field, guys, are always exposed to something, right? Like, for instance, the T-49 is exposed to shots from me, and I can spot him. The 12T is exposed from people that might, like, win or poke. If they win this ridge line over here, or this side of the map, and they poke this ridge line, then they can even get shots if they have the render range, right? But you can see, like, I'm still in his render range from here. And, if people want to come up and over this ridge line as well, like, you see what I'm saying? There's just... people will have shots at you. They will have angles if you get spotted, regardless of where you choose to sit, whether it's here, here, here you're kind of safe, actually. And over here, like, there's just all these spots come with some sort of risk. They're not perfect. Whereas on some maps they actually are. Like, you can stay safe. But out here on steps, man, this map is so wide open that if people decide they want to ridge poke in certain areas and stay hold down, they can still get shots into you, right? And from across the map, right? So I want to emphasize that to you guys, because I feel like a lot of people think they're safe to take these positions out here all the time, and the reality is you need to stay unspotted out there, man. Like, even if you get lit once, you're putting yourself at a risk, because people then know where you are and they might try and blind fire the bush, which is no different than any other map. But the reality is you're not as safe out there as you think you are. So just really wanted to emphasize that in this video. Now, watch the play I made here, guys. You saw the bat chat run through the mid, and he ended up getting spotted. He tried to press into the arty, and he got hit. What I'm actually going to do is sit in this back pocket right here. It's in K7, K8 area. And what you can actually do from here is just... if you're flanking the enemy team, right, it wouldn't work exactly the same in the north, because you don't really have as big of a rock and a pocket, as I'm sure most of you know. It's a little different in the north, but in the south you have this whole pocket, right? And you could just sit here, and now the enemy team, if they're going to defend the base, they have to push back into me. So when they're coming back to their base, they're actually running into my line of fire, right? So this works perfect. You can see the T-28 gets lit. I'm just waiting for the Kunza to spot for me at this point. I can still kind of spot from here, but this is such... I don't care what tank I'm in, man. I'm going to take this spot, because this is such an effective area to be in because of the angles that I have. People are not expecting it. I have shots on everybody's backside, basically, or if they're coming back, then they're turning their backs on my teammates, right? So this works perfectly, and I would urge you guys to try this play if you see that everyone has been spotted on the map. Now, I use XVM. This is why I use XVM. You see how everybody has been lit on the map? Even though people aren't currently lit, I can see for myself that when I made this play, everybody was lit on the map. The Batchat 12T kind of gave me some of that information, but even before the Batchat was pushing in, like, everyone, I think almost everyone had been lit on the map, and this is what separates a good light tank player from an average player, right, is your understanding and awareness of the enemy team and what they're doing, and where they are and all that stuff. So I already knew, and I get kind of lucky here with the T-30. He doesn't target me Like he starts looking to target, I guess it's the Kunzapanzer over here or whatever. But I get a shot into him. But you want to pay attention to what the enemy team is doing is what I'm telling you guys. And that's what I did here. Everyone was lit. I used the bulbs to tell me that information, right? And then I take this pocket and just run right up the gut because I'm seeing on the map, okay, everyone's in the west or everyone's in the east, and we can just go, right? So I'm running past this T-30 here. I get really lucky again because I think he was targeting the Kunzapanzer. And this guy could have thrown an HE shell to me, and I would have basically been a one-shot from there on, but he doesn't really target me, and we get kind of lucky there, and hip hip hooray. But we're going to move on, guys, and eventually I'm going to go after the Emil. I think we get another shot into the T-30 as well. And I'm looking for the Emil. What I want to do at this point, this is actually also kind of important to note, I'm taking this portion of the map, taking G1, H1, because I want to make sure the Emil is not here. If the Emil was here, I would just try and run away from him, like run a circle around him, shoot him once or twice, and run away. But I'm trying to take as much map away from the enemy team as possible, because look, we're only down... or they're down, what, 3,000 something HP, but they have two T-30s and a Scorpion G, and the Emil, I believe, is an autoloader, right? So they still have the potential to wipe these people out, you know? The T-30s could easily one-shot the Scorpion, they just one-shotted this dude. The Conway and the Sharpshooter, the Conway is basically a two-shot, even full HP. And then they just eliminated the Scorpion as well. So you have to be careful with big guns, right? Like, you could be down a lot of HP, but they just already brought back like over 1,000 HP in a matter of 10 seconds. So when you're going against big guns, you don't want to just throw the game. You don't just want to run in and throw your HP away, right? I'm still full HP, the Conway's still full HP, the Char is still full HP, but you have to be careful using your HP when you're going against massive guns. A shot from each T-30 and I'm dead. A shot from each T-30 and the Conway's dead. So hopefully that makes sense. And just emphasizing to you guys certain points in this video, like, you have to be careful. I decide, and rather than taking a shot from the Scorpion or from the T-30, I'm just going to take the shot from the Scorpion G because I know I can handle 500 alpha or whatever he has, right? He hits me for 512 and I can still take even one more from him. So that's why I'm doing it that way. I'm pushing into the T-30 once he has his turret turned, and I'm going after the Scorpion G instead. Instead of trying to circle around the T-30 or whatever and leave myself open, possibly to the Emil also clipping me out, I just take the shot from the Scorpion. So I'm going to come up and over and go after this Emil now, and I think this guy does end up killing me. They have pretty good gun depression, so I was trying to get around him here. Actually, no, the Conway comes up and over and kills him before he's able to clip me. And that's the game, guys. This was 3,391 damage, 2,064 assist, man. So I know it's a pretty quick game there. We did have a like 8,500 W&8, which is just wild for this game. But certain things I'm emphasizing to you guys: pay attention to the map, pay attention to what the enemy team is doing. We made a play to go right up the gut here. We got into this little pocket here in K7, K8, and this game was over, man, because they gave us the map, right? They gave us the whole middle of the map once the T-49 died. I was able to get some very unique shots, I'll call them here, because this is a very rare play. Like, I think I've only made this play a couple times in my World of Tanks career, right? So just an example of what you can do when you have awareness and you're looking at the map, guys, and you're looking at how many people have been spotted and where they are. Like, pay attention to these things. I know when you're like a heavy tank player, you don't have to be looking at this stuff. You're aiming for weak points, you're in the middle of a brawl, you have no idea what's going on in the map. All of a sudden a Borisk comes up behind you and he's shooting you in your ass, and you're like, what the heck just happened? Because you're not paying attention to the map, right? Like, a lot of heavy tank players won't do that. Even tank destroyers sometimes, mediums, I can understand, but you have to, in every class, you have to be doing this, but especially in light tanks, guys, you have to be paying attention to what's going on in the map, because you're the one that has the mobility, the view range, the concealment, and you're the one that's going to be able to make adjustments on the fly, but also you're the one that has the most view range and the most concealment, so you have the advantage in spotting the enemy team coming in certain directions. So you don't just want to sit in one bush the whole game, right? And we took advantage of this, man. So we ran all the way through. We got into K7, K8. We took those shots, guys. Once the rest of the team pushed in this way, I went west. We locked down the HG1 area to make sure the Emil wasn't here, and that left them only a quarter of the map at best, right? And then we pushed in and we got these guys. So that's how it worked on steps. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope it was informative. Let's take a look at the emplates, and I will let you guys go. So, first class, I was amazed that this was first class. 3615 damage, 2064 assist, 4 kills, and this was a first class game. Unbelievable, man. I don't know what I'm going to have to do to get a mastery in this, but yeah, you can see this was the second game because we have a 100% victory rate here, and it actually shows 2 battles there. You can see that. Just make sure you can see that with the camera. And I'm averaging 2443 damage, which will never stick, guys. I'll never even keep this at probably 1500 once I play more and more battles, and it kind of levels itself out, right? So, and yeah, 4 kills, 3615, 1218 experience. The Borisk actually had more than me. Or I'm sorry, the Renegade. Why did I say Borisk? Um, for some reason, I have Borisk in my head after the example I gave you guys, I guess. But the Renegade, 2579 damage, 3 kills. He had 1222, so he probably also got some spotting or something like that. Maybe some track assist. And yeah, he played a pretty good game, man. Their T30s actually played pretty well, and this is what I mean. Like, look, they had 6 kills. The two of them had 6 kills, and what is this, like 58, 5900 damage combined? So you just have to be, like, these things are lethal, dude. You have to be very, very careful when you're around these big guns, right? So that's why I emphasize that to you guys. Like, I always tell you, conserve your HP, but then at the end of the battle, use it, but don't just throw it away, you know? Because, like, again, if the T30 decides, if he has intuition and decides to load an HE, that's like 900 in the face, right? And then you're a one shot. So just be very, very careful when you're pushing in. And that's all, guys. I think I do have the detailed report for this one. We actually made 6,300. I'm running the premium. I have like another 2 weeks left or so of premium at this time. And yeah, look at the shots. So the gun tends to work pretty well on the LHMTV and the G-Sowr. I will say that. I'm still on the stock gun. Everything is stock on the G-Sowr except for the engine. That's the only thing I upgraded. I didn't upgrade the tracks or the gun or the radio. So I'm playing this thing completely stock. And also I have just Lieutenant Connor here from the event, right? And then just concealment on these two dudes down here. Like, I'm not running this thing, and I'm also not running it with any bounty equipment or anything like that. So it's very doable for you guys to have these games, man. Like, I don't have this thing stacked out at all. The only thing I have again is the commander, who's pretty good, and the brother in arms isn't even proccing, so it's just concealment, situational awareness, and a quarter of a recon. So yeah, and the concealment is really good on these vehicles as well, guys. So if you want to go down this line, this is a passive scouting line. Once it gets up to like the LHMTV and stuff, the setter as well, but the setter's just a piece of shit, to be honest. That's why Skill for LTU calls it the shitter, because it's literally an awful tank. But once you get up to tier 9, tier 8, tier 9, tier 10, these things are like invisible. They're almost like even 90s, and the gun is pretty accurate. Like, I would rather play the LHMTV. If it was a premium, I would play it over the even 90 because the gun is so bad on the even 90. That's how Wargaming balanced it. Yes, you can get the thing up to like 55% concealment, but if you're not running any kind of V-stab or anything to improve the gun, you're going to miss all your shots, man. I'm telling you guys, trust me. You can be a really good player. I have played over 2,000 battles in the even 90. I think it's like 2,300 now at this point. I'm telling you, that is the worst gun I've ever played with in the game. It's the worst gun. I don't care. I'd rather play with the KV2, Su-152. Like, the Waffle Panzer has trolled me even more, and I'd rather play with the Waffle Panzer. The even 90 cannot hit jack shit from more than like 100 meters away, dude, if you're not running improved equipment for the gun, right? So I think I've babbled on enough, guys. Again, if you're looking for passive scouting vehicles, once you get to like a tier 8, tier 9, go for this line, man. It's really fun, and I can't wait to get the Mana Core. I'm very happy to do so. But again, you guys can have these games, man. Like, standard equipment, not a stacked crew. So use my advice. Go out there and get it done, guys. I'm telling you, it's so much easier than you think, And I think you guys that are watching, that are learning, are probably a lot better at the game than you think. Like, my dad thinks he's kind of a bad player at this game, and we just played a session, and he averaged like a 2,000 W and 8 over the session. Like, he's a good player, man. But some people are just, they don't think so. But I'm telling you, there's a lot of bad players that play this game. Take my advice, you'll be a much better player, guys. I promise you. I'll catch you for the next one. Take care. Bye bye.